log in using admin and password credential. After logging, you have to take the data from Excel row by row. We have three different columns here: cash in, honest check, and not honest check. These are some account related values. You have to enter it into against the respective field, and we have to capture this transaction number and click on accept. Okay, this is the one round of operations. Again, you have to go for the second record and do the same thing. Third record, do the same thing, like that. And till the end of the data, we have to do the operation like this. Okay, this is the use case. Any question?
Uh, do we will write the transaction ID in column D, sir, or like right side, or
Yes.
how it's in?
Yeah, we will do that incrementally. So at the moment, we'll just scrap it and display it using log message. And
Okay,
that as a second part, how we can write it to column D, that we'll discuss.
okay, okay.
Okay. So to implement this one, what is the things we are going to take into consideration? First of all, I'm going to upload all the queue items, all the items of the Excel to the queue. Getting my point? All these items we are going to upload it to queue. So RE framework using queue. So you know very well RE framework queue concept. You already are aware about that. Okay. So RE framework is by default designed for queue automation, queue based automation. But there is a provision if you can customize RE framework for automating in a different way. Means if you don't have access to orchestrator, means queue feature if you are not using, then can we use RE framework for other than queue? Answer is yes. But there are some changes supposed to be done. Okay, guys. Directly, it's not possible to use, so we have to do some changes. And those changes we are going to discuss once you complete this queue-based automation. Okay. So let's go with that. First of all, I will close this. Let's open Uipath. Is this a blank one?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so this guy already has created the blank RE framework, guys. So you know very well how to start it from home, correct? So we can go ahead and click on this RE framework, give whatever name you want, and this will create a RE framework like this. Okay. So what is next step? The first of all, we have to decide like what process, like where to place part of the process. The entire process we understood, like manually we understood. Then how we can split that operation or the process so that I can put inside initialization, get transition state, process state, and last one is end state. Okay. So yesterday we had some discussion like in initialization what we are going to do. Can anybody repeat that part quickly?
Initialization, sir, we create variables and read the input, uh, uh, like input
Mhm.
users, and we take the values from uh, there and we process it to the next levels.
Something
And
also I told you apart from that.
mm,
You want a best example. Time schedule processing. Just try to recall. I told you Tlanikos, initialization of applications also taking care in first part. Okay, here opening the application is also taking care here. So all those things we are going to do under this initialization. Get transition where we are going to get the data for processing. So this block is going to take care about data is available or not. So when we are going to use RE framework for queue based automation, I believe you are already having an access to queue. Why it is not opening?
there only, sir. Preferences. Yes, preferences.
No, no, I am going to open. The link actually orchestrator link. This is service URL used. Okay. Actually, when you click on this now, it will open up the website in the background. I believe you have access to orchestrator.
Yes, I do have, sir.
Okay. So just open it quickly. So basically, we are going to use queues from orchestrator concept, guys. So from RE framework, we are going to upload all the items to queue first of all, and then we'll process one by one. How that will discuss step by step. Okay, and
It's not
should be bookmark it actually. Just search types cloud
cloud, no?
there itself. The search bar top
Top,
URL.
no?
Yeah, automatically comes up. Na? Yeah, hit enter. Okay, everybody is assuming everybody is having access to orchestrator like this. Okay, fine. It's just organization into URL. It's fine. So Uipath is connected to where? Uipath is connected to test. Okay, you have
Test,
to
yes.
remember all these things. So in the test only we can do all the things. So first of all, we'll create a queue over here. Okay, at the moment it's blank. I'm going to create a queue. Okay, so here I'm going to provide the name, transaction. Okay. Then other informations, like these are some extra features they have added this. Okay, delete after 30 days. If suppose if it's not processed, then delete it. At the moment, don't worry about that part. And also, I forgot to mention one of the part here. Very important. The max retry. I was telling about you yesterday. Whenever there is an exception comes up, system exceptions. Remember, I told you yesterday
Yeah.
how many times retry is supposed to happen, correct? So this is a retry number for that particular queue items. So by default value is 1. This is an interview question. What is the default value of max retry? It's 1. So you can increase it to 2, 3, 4. So if application is not responding, then how many times you want to retry that? So normally as a human we retry for 1 or 2 times. The same tendency goes to robot as well. So we can put either 2, 3. Okay, ideally as per standard people put 3. Okay, so we'll keep here 2. So 2 times it's going to. Okay, so as of now there is no any data in the queue. We are going to upload it using RE framework. What's supposed to be done for that? So first of all, I have to go inside the initialization and try to understand what is there and what's supposed to be done. So if you observe carefully, this is for max retry error. This is for application initialization. This one is for first run. First run is the thing, but as you know that, whenever there is a system exception from the process state, bot is coming to initialization. Correct? Initialization is coming up. What's supposed to happen when it comes to initialization? Application supposed to reopen. That is the main intention. What about the other things? Other things should not execute. Other things should not execute except application opening. So here is an application opening concept. So that's supposed to happen. How to avoid other things to happen when there is a system exception? Retry. Whenever there is a retry is happening, then how to stop it? So actually they have added a logic called as if condition. So basically, dictionary concept, have you heard earlier? Maybe Sunil has taken dictionary.
Yes.
Yeah. So dictionary is kind of data type again. It stores the data in how what is a how you define dictionary.
The data type
Likewise,
stores a value like keys and values.
keys, yes, keys and value
Keys and
pair.
pairs. Yes, sir.
Exactly. For example, give an example. Name. Name is ABC. Surname, no, XYZ, like that. City, Pune. So here is a combination of key and value. Key and value. So that is done. So that variable is used in RE framework. So name of that dictionary variable is config. Config is nothing but it is a configuration. Configuration. Okay. So basically this variable is used to provide some flexibility um, to the business, to the developer as well. Okay. You'll come to know the importance of this config after completion of RE framework. Okay. So basically we are going to run this module, this creation of the config variable only once. Reason is what? Config variable should create only once because this block is going to run multiple times. This block initialization based on the error. If error is coming up, this is going to execute. But every time it should not create a config variable. Config variable should create only once. Because of that, they have taken the if condition. They are checking config is nothing. What is the meaning of this? If config variable is empty, then only create it. Otherwise, no need to create. Already it's created. What is the meaning of this? Config is nothing means if config is empty, config variable is empty means it has to be created. Getting guys? So what we are doing here, we are calling two functions here, two workflows. One is init all settings and another is kill all processes. Two workflows we are calling. All these are empty. So what is taking care in init all settings? I don't know how many people have gone through this in depth of the RE framework or the Windows workflow. No need to bother about what exactly done here. At high level, I will explain. So basically, this particular XAML file has been called here and some parameters have been passed. What are those parameters here? One is string, that is a file path, config file path have been passed. Then sheet names, how many sheets are there in that config file? And out is nothing but it's a config variable. They have taken as an out. Okay. Go insert this. So basically, the role of this workflow is create a config variable. Dictionary variable by reading Excel file. By reading the Excel file. What is the name of Excel file? Config. So how to create a dictionary? This is an example. Okay, here is an example. So this is a way to create a dictionary, new dictionary of string comma object. So the key is string, value is object. So dictionary got created and addition of the values to that dictionary. So this empty dictionary got created here. So how to add the values to that? So for adding the value to that, there is a config Excel file. Okay, config Excel file. Reading that Excel file and using iteration, we are going to add a value to key. See this simple as an activity. Getting?
Uh, It means like, sir, the it will be stored in pairs, no key and
Correct.
value. So
Correct.
we have to
See, we can
input the
see name.
keys.
Name is getting stored. Value is getting assigned to the name against that name. So one by one, this is happening and storing inside dictionary variable. Okay, this is taking care. Need not to worry about this. All this code is available by default. So reading the sheet one by one, you can see looping is there for the sheets. If two sheets are there, two times it happen. Okay, reading that particular sheet, then storing the values, respective value to the respective keys. And the third one is third asset. Sorry, third sheet. That is asset sheet. You know the concept of asset. Asset is a global variable on the orchestrator, right? Which can be stored for different types of data. What are those?
Text credentials.
Boolean, string, integer,
Yes.
and fourth one is
Credential, right? So integer
credential.
boolean,
Yes. Integer,
integer,
boolean,
boolean, string, credential.
string,
Four types of
credential.
assets are there. So those assets are also we are moving to the storing into dictionary part. So here you can see, so creating an asset as well as assigning it to the dictionary. So three sheets are there actually in the config file. If you go to this project folder, go to this one folder where RE framework got created. This is the folder automatically got created when you create the RE framework. Okay, guys. So under data section part here, you will find the config file. Can you see this config? So right now it is partially empty. You can see setting something is there. Constant three sheets are there. Constants. Last one is assets. So all three sheets, data of all these three sheets will get stored in the dictionary. How? With the help of name and value. So value can be called using name directly. So this is the beauty of dictionary. So basically in init all setting, what we are doing, guys, basically we are storing all the values in the Excel to the dictionary part. That's it. That is we are doing, and this part is already available. Need not to worry about this. Okay. So this is about the init all settings. Okay. So this is for getting the queue name. Okay. Then I believe this is getting the folder, I believe so. Yes, this is for folder, means folder in the sense where we created the queues, where you created the queue. Okay. So it may be test folder, it may be shared folder, which are right. Multiple folders are there. So test is a folder in this case. Next, no need to worry about all those things. Everything is ready. Kill all process. This is empty block actually. Empty XAML file. See this empty is there. Kill means before starting the process, we have to close the required applications. So for that purpose, what I'm going to do, what are the applications I'm going to use in my automations? One is Excel. So I'm going to use activity kill process. Okay, you can drag it. And you can provide the name to that application. And also make sure you are going to click on continue on error. What is this property? Can you tell me? Continue on error. So basically this continue on error is a thing, but when you click or click mark this, even now Excel file may or may not be open, right? But what we are saying here, what we instructed, if it is open, then close it. If it is not open, then this activity may throw an error. So to avoid that, what we done, we clicked on continue on error. Means even though Excel file is not available, this kill process activity will try to close application, Excel application, but it will throw an error, says that Excel is not opened. So to avoid that, we are going to use continue error. Means even though there error comes up, then move ahead. Similarly, we will go for another that is UI demo. So how I written this Excel name? Actually, from the task manager, you will come to know, guys, what is the name of that application. I will tell you example quickly. So let's say I'm going to open UI demo. Okay, this is open now. So how to get the name of that application? From where I can get the name to kill it actually. Go to task manager and you can see some UI demo is there, right? So just expand this or maybe select it. I don't know why I'm not selecting it. So, click on that. Right click. Oh, right click is not coming up. Oh, wait. So there is option should come up. Click on this top. You should get a property option. Yeah, last one. So you'll get the name of that application. What is this? UI demo. Okay, copy that. Okay, so how to get the name of any specific application if you don't know? Okay, this is the way. So why I'm not getting the control? Just a minute. I think I'm getting. Okay. So basically, we have taken the name. Okay, that's why I'm writing it like this. So this will simply kill all the process which are already running in the background. So making sure initially all the applications should get closed. So this is all about initialization. Okay. And all this happening inside this if condition. Why? Because the config variable is empty initially. Just minimize it. What is next? This flow is I'm not going to explain at the moment. This flow will come up when there is system exception reached to maximum retry. Then it is going to stop the bot. So the new block has been added to the RE framework in the advanced version. Older version, you can't see that. Okay. Then init all applications. What is there inside? It's empty. See, empty is there. What to do here? As I told you, we have to initialize the application. Correct, na guys?
Yes,
We have
sir.
to initialize the application. So where is my application? So application is there in the download folder. Correct, na? So what you can
Yes.
do? Let's take out these two files to our RE framework folder. Here, under input part. You can place it anywhere, guys. Doesn't matter. But what it is saying, Excel is open, I think. Okay, we got this applications over here. Now, what next supposed to be done? I have to open this application. Okay, launch the application. Okay. So how manually I will do it, and I will use an activity. What is an application? Activity to open the application. That is open application. There is an application actually. Sorry, activity. Try to understand what you are doing here. Open application. This one. Drag it and indicate on that actually. Okay. So this will capture the path of the file. If you go and try to understand these properties, you can see the file path got captured automatically. Correct, na? But this file path may not be same when you go for deploying this process on the another machine. Okay. So what I can do, I will copy this and paste it into config file. Try to understand what is use of config file or configuration. So this is what I'm going to make it as UI demo file path. UI demo file path. I'm going to call this inside. How I can call, guys? Using the variable called as config. In config, this is already available. If you observe carefully in the arguments, this variable is already available. So a config variable I can use because all the values are coming up inside the dictionary in the initial itself. Okay, guys. So here, how to call the values? By providing the key. So how I can provide the key here? Just a second. So here I can provide the key. So what this will do? This will give me the path. Getting this? This will give me a path. Dot to string. How to make it is a dot to string. Convert this into string. So basically what this will do, this will Uipath UI demo file path. It will, whenever we do like this, it will capture this path. Okay. If you change tomorrow to whatever updated value, that will take it. That will be taken here. So this is the beauty of config. So application is launched. What is the next step here? After application get launched, you have to put
User ID
admin
password.
yes, user ID passwords. So there is a provision we can take the user ID password from asset. Correct, na?
Yes, sir.
So for that, we'll create an asset. This is standard actually. You create an asset. What will you do? Define here. Type is
Credential.
credential. So this is what UI demo creates. Okay. Username is admin and password is password.
Pass.
So likewise, you can define, guys. And this name we have to give it in. Click on OK. Asset got created. You have to put this inside here again. Q. You can change the name if you want. So this is my name of asset. So here we can use an activity. What activity? What is active to get the credentials?
Get password or get credentials.
Get credential is an activity. Use it here to get username and password. What you have to provide here? You have to provide two things. One is folder path, another is name of the asset. Okay. So asset name, we are taking it from config again. Just a minute, I'm using properties. Asset name was not supplied. That's true, but I'm going to see the property. Why it's not coming up? No problem. In okay, because we are taking it from the config. All required things we should store in config. Okay, try to remember. And dot to string at the end.
Sir,
What?
in normal workflow, we create variables and we pass it value through variable. Over here, we'll create the config sheet and we'll store the values over there and we'll fetch from there in
Yeah.
page.
So a normal way we create multiple variable. Here we have to create single variable, use it everywhere. Only change
Okay,
the key parameter. This is the beauty of dictionary.
okay,
Okay. Instead of passing multiple variables or arguments between the flows, it is always better to pass only config, single variable, and use it using keys. By providing the keys, you will get the values.
okay. So whatever the value we have to store in front of keys and we'll input these keys as in
Yes.
whenever we require, like just
Yes.
passing.
So
Okay,
in future, suppose the values are getting changed. Where to change? Column B. No need to touch this part because no need to change the code as well. In the coding, we used column A, that is a key values, keys. So values, these are going to change. It doesn't matter. Today's name is UI demo crates. Tomorrow it will be different. You can change it. So basically it will save your time. No need to change in the code because dictionary variables is getting created every times with the updated values in this Excel. Got
got
it?
it. Yes, yes.
So that is one thing. I will provide the queue name as well. Queue name is transaction. So you can see there is a queue name. Just provide it to this. Okay. Folder also you can provide. A folder is a test folder, correct? This is done. What else? Yeah. So now you have to provide the ID and password here using type into activity. Correct, na? So credentials we got. Then create a variables for this. There is a variables, guys. I believe so. You use modern activity. Is it modern activity? Thinking so. This might be model design. Okay. So here we are going to create a variable called as what?
User name and password.
So we got created two values. Now indicate it and type it actually. Okay, username I'm going to indicate now. So all you are familiar with this, what I'm doing. Okay, I'm not doing something new. All you people are familiar, like web automation, desktop automations. We already know. I'm using some property click before typing in empty field. Okay. Similarly, I will go for this is for username. Similarly, I will use same activity for password. Okay. So here I'm going to call password. Okay. This will give an error because password is not a string format, it is in a secure string. So secure string you cannot use type into activity. What activity to use? Type secure text, this one. Getting guys? You cannot use type into activity when there is a data is in secure string. There are two types, string and secure string. Secure string is in encrypted format. So this password,
Security purpose.
yeah, so security purpose that has been used. So that's why you have to take care, extra special care. So here I'm typing it already indicated correctly. So just delete this part. Got it? Any doubt? Password. Okay. So want to select, see the selectors you can do. So this is coming up correctly. Okay. What next? We have to click on login button, correct?
Yes.
Click on login button. Okay, this is done. So you can add extra validation, like after click on this login button, whether login is successful or not. How you can validate that, guys? Extra validations means credentials are correct, like that. It may be chances, right? We are assuming credentials are correct only here. It may happen that credentials may be wrong. So how to validate that? So for that, we are going to use element exist activity. Okay. Element exist. Already we are familiar with all this in nothing new. Just for validation purpose, indicate one of the stable element on this one. So Uipath logo, I believe that is a stable element. So this means what? If you get that screen, what that means? What that means? If I'm getting that screen means login. What?
Successful.
Exit successful. So this is a boolean variable I'm taking out, and just this is just for validation, guys. I think if you are means until unless you put kind of validations, you will not be expert in the development. So you should know like where to put what kind of validation. So validation is always required, kind of handling the proper exceptions. So here I'm going to put a log message. So login is successful, or else there is no point to move ahead, right? If login is failed here itself, do you want to proceed again?
No, sir.
Yesterday we were talking, right? Like how our intention is. So login failed means you have to stop it here itself in the else part. Correct, na? Login failed. Then what to do? I want to stop, or you can retry as well. So retry part, I will leave this part with you people. You can enhance this code with your requirement. There is a retry activity, you can use it. So I'm going to use a throw just to throw the error here. Correct now? Because we are going to handle this. So I'm going to use a throw activity to throw the error. What error? Application is failed to open. Correct now? I'm saying system exception, and message I'm going to provide here is try to understand the context. All concepts are coming in here actually. All the concept what we learned so far. So UI demo failed to open. Okay. So this is the reason it will. That's it. This is the validation and initialization part. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Because we have only single applications, we have used some small code here to open the application, validate login successful or not, like that. This has been done. Now, after login successful, we have to fill out cache in, honest check, not honest check, and click on accept. Also capture this number, display it using log message. So this is going to be repeated. Correct, na?
Yes.
This is going to be repeated.
Yeah.
So this part will be there inside process state. Process state. Let's jump into the process state quickly. I'm going to skip the get transition. I'll come to that part. We are in the flow, so that's why I'm going to use a process transaction and add a quick code for that. Okay. Will that be feasible? Okay, that will be feasible. Type into type activity because we have to type. Okay. So indicate on the element, fadafat. So this is what cache in, correct na? So provide the respective properties. Click before typing, then empty field. So basically what you have to type it here actually. So we have to type cache in value, cache in. But as I already told you, we are going to upload all the Excel data to queue. Correct, na?
Yes.
Sir.
So you might be aware like how to read the data from queue. Assume the variable of the queue is transaction item. I just want an answer from your side. How to read the data from queue? So assume that this is the variable which will read the queue item one by one. I want answers because you have learned already queue. How to read the get the data from queue?
Dispatcher and the like. No, it's just recalling that part, sir. Performer
Not
and dispatcher.
dispatching.
Like
How to
just
get a specific data from that queue variable?
for each.
Specific data we can extract using dot specific content. Do you remember? Variable dot specific content, and we have to provide the header name. Do you
It will
remember?
iterate one by one, sir.
No,
Specific.
this is for single.
Okay.
See, we have the single data, right? Excel row by row, we are going to upload actually, row by row. Okay. Just a minute, I'm going to save this. So all this data of Excel is going to upload on queue items. Okay. How that will discuss. Then header of those queue items is cache in, honest check, and not honest check. But how to extract a specific element from queue item? Queue item is a data type. Queue item is a data type. So in Uipath, queue item data type variable is, what is that variable? In transaction item. See the data type of this one is queue item. How to get the data from queue? Dot specific content. Remember this. Dot specific content we have to write. That variable dot specific content and the header. Okay, and dot to string. That's it. So this is how we can get the value. Similarly, we can go for other two. Let me indicate. Just a minute, I think F2 I have to press. Application is not open. Here is application. So we have to click on honest check. So this is for honest check. Okay. And what is the header for that? What is header for that? That we would copy from Excel, because the same header is going to queue. Upload it to queue
Let's
actually.
check. Yes.
If you have any questions, you can stop and ask. Okay, don't worry, I'm going very slow so that I'm making sure you should understand what we're doing here. Similarly, I will go for the last one, that is not honest check, third value. Sorry guys. It is not working. We have to indicate it again. Some issues. Yeah, we are going to put it here and not honest check. Okay. And the header for this one is third one. Click on OK. What is the last activity? Click on accept button. Before that, we have to take the transaction number, correct? Na? How to read the transaction number? Get text. Get text is an activity, so which will help us to get the data from the screen. This is for not honest check. Okay, get text. Get text. Open the application again. So this is the transition number I have to fetch. Okay, hit on that. See the selectors of this one. This is fine. Transition number is coming up. Okay, and create a variable for this. Transaction number. I'm going to use a log activities to display this value. Later on, I will leave that part, like how to add it to Excel. Anyway, we'll discuss that, but don't worry. But I will just use some space to you to explore it. So this is done. And at the end, what I have to do, I have to click on accept button. Correct, no? For one iteration, what you have to do, that all things has been discussed here. So indicate. Maybe re-indicate. Done. That's it. So all the required steps for one iteration is written inside process. Always remember, required steps for one iteration, one complete loop, end to end. That's supposed to cover up inside the process. Is it clear? So we captured multiple steps. One, typing 3 data, capturing this, and fifth one is clicking on accept. Again, it will go for the next transaction. Is it clear? So the required steps, 5 to 6 steps has been added here, which will take care of all the entries. What else? What else? Data to be uploaded to queue is pending, right? That part is pending. So someone rightly said dispatcher and performer. So already heard that word. Means both are two different bots altogether. So here in the RE framework, I am implementing using here itself. Means dispatcher and performer in a single flow. We are doing it here. Ideally, both are different flow. Just for understanding purpose, I am uploading here itself. Where to put that uploading part? Uploading part we can put inside first run. Why it is first run, guys? Because uploading to queue item should happen only once. Correct, no? Getting, guys,
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So that's why what this block ensures this block only runs only once. Remaining block will run depends on the exception coming up from the process state. Because already we are aware initialization state may run multiple times because of this system exception, because there is a return path. So to avoid that, multiple times should not upload the queue items. We are going to use first run. Inside, I'm going to put a logic to upload all the queue items. So what are the activities to upload the queue items? Anybody idea? Having any idea? What activities we're having to upload the items to queue?
Add queue. Add-
So we have two different activities, or two or three, I would say. Single item you want to add, then is add queue item. Bulk item you want to add. Bulk means multiple at a time. So bulk add queue items.
Bulk.
So bulk add queue items requires a data table as an input. Data table as an input. Add queue item, one by one you can add it. Add transition is something different. Okay. So these two simply add the items, but add transition item simply adds as well as executes. You know the status of queues: new, in progress, successful, failed. Correct. So initial
Yes.
state of the queue item is new. So in both the cases, add queue items and add bulk queue items, status of queue item is new. It won't execute directly. But in case of add transition item, what will happen? It will add the item to queue with the new state, and suddenly that item can be having high priority, that becomes in progress. Means add transition item is simply adding as well as processing at the same time. So that's why we are not going to prefer at the moment. We are going to add sorry, bulk queue items. Means in a bulk I'm going to add all the items. So to add the items in a bulk way, I have to create a data table. Where is my data is available? It is in Excel. So for that purpose, I have to read this Excel file first. Then create a data table and use it in a bulk data table activity. Okay? So for doing that, first of all, I have to provide the path of this file in the config, because file path may get changed in future. So I'm going to provide the file path in the config. How to get the file path? What is shortcut key to get the file path of this one?
Shift and right click.
Good. Shift and right click, you will get the copy as a path. Here it is. Okay. And go to your config file and place it here. See what kind of data I'm putting in config. Whichever you feel that may get changed in future, that is what you have to put. So this is my input file path. Any name you can provide. And the same name I'm going to use during Uipath program. So here we'll take a small sequence which will work on uploading queue items at the end of the first run. First run if condition. Okay. I'll name it
So,
to, yeah.
oh, one question, sir. So iteration part is like completely gone once we upload the bulk. So every entry would be uploaded to the queues, and from then it will proceed further. No?
Hmm. No need to iterate one by one. If you're going to add queue item,
Okay.
single item iteration is happen. Now I'm going to read and add it in a bulk. Because if you have some any conditions or constraints, then one by one you have to read and one by one you have to upload. Here, I don't have any conditions or constraints. I simply upload it directly in a single go. So this will save my time. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to read the config file. So config file, sorry, not config file, I'm going to read here. I'm going to read the input file. So dot to string, I'm going to provide the file path of the key what we created in a dictionary. Control V. Okay. So this is done. Sheet name is, I believe, sheet one.
Yes, it is sheet one. Input, sorry, sir.
It is input. So this part also you can put it in config if you want. Okay. Same way we can call it. So as of now, I'm going with the hard coded values. That is input. Read entire range of data. Okay. Then create a variable for this. Okay. It's a DT variable. What is this? Input data. Okay. Some validation we can add it here. What kind of validation we can add, guys? Anybody having any idea? What kind of validation we have to add here? Let me first of all work on that and I will ask the question. Add bulk atom, I will do that first. Add bulk Q atoms. Okay. What it is asking? It is asking Q name and data table. So data table just now created. So we are DT input already done. Q name. Q name. Where is the Q name? Q name is here. This one. Correct na? Transaction. So in the config variable, okay, config, then dot to string, okay, then control V. Is it clear? Now my question to you people, what kind of validations, how to improve this code? Do you need to validate something before reading and uploading? Anybody?
Data is available or not?
Yes, data exists or not, sir.
Good. And okay, one point is data available or not. Next.
Yes.
Is there like any data validation has to be there? I mean, say extra spaces or incorrect data. We have to like sort the data just to make
No,
sure that
this is, yeah, I understood your context. That is also absolutely true as well. That we can do when we are individually processing. Here we bulk, what we are doing here in a bulk, we are uploading data, right?
yes, yes.
So individually we can put a business rule constraints in the process state where we are reading one by one data and put a business rule or validations. So here one more validation we can do, that is file path availability, file availability. Anyway, we are given the
Yes.
file path, input file path, correct? Na? This one. But are you sure the file is available? Not sure, like may or may not be, right? So how to handle that?
File path
Validation.
exists.
Exactly. So already we are too much familiar with all those activities. So validation is very much important because if you don't do the validation, what will happen, guys?
It won't fetch the
No,
records
it will
or
throw an
data.
error directly.
Yes, yes.
And that error is very unknown to business. So why not? Why should we give control to Uipath or the bot itself? So we'll take the control means we will handle that error.
Path exists, I guess, or something.
That is what I'm searching. So it's not coming up. Yeah, it's coming. So here, first of all, these validations are depends on the means the developer how smartly he will add all the validations, and this will comes up with the practice only, guys. Okay. Then properties, I'm going to put here create a variable boolean input file exist. Okay. Variable got created. I will use a if condition just for validation purpose. So here what we'll do, we'll provide this like this. Yes, file is available, then read the data. Then I will move this to part inside then section. Okay. Then use an activity called as log, just to trace what exactly happening here. So you can add a custom message. Input file is available. What else we have to do? In the else part, what you can do? Missing, correct now? So there is no any point to process this bot if the file is missing. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So we have to stop there itself, na? We have
So
to stop here itself because there is no any point to process the bot because there is no data. Our file is not available. That's why. So I'm going to use a throw activity. There's a spelling mistake here. Okay. So new system exception. I believe I'm writing this directly. Assuming you know this concept already. In the exception concept, you understood all these parameters, correct? Na? How to define the exception? So we have defined the exception here. Okay. So this is done. One more validation you can add, taking the data availability inside that. File is there, but data that you have to check. So you can use the rows.count concept to check the data available or not. Okay. So that I will leave that part up to you. Okay, save. What next? I believe we have done most of the part in the initialization for now. In the get transition data, nothing to change. Nothing. Because for queue-based automation, everything is available. If you go inside this get transition data, I'll just at high level explain what this block is doing. It is get transition atom. How to read the data from queue one by one? Using get transaction atom. Get transition atom. So there is a block. So this is going to read the data one by one. And retry concept is also added to that if they suppose fail to read the data. Then nothing has been done here, simply creating a variable called as out transaction atom. That's it. So when we are going to use RE framework for other than queue, so some changes we have to do in this section called as get transaction data. Here we have to do the changes. What changes we have to do that we'll discuss in the next session. Okay. So for queue-based automation, we need not to do any changes in the gate transition block. So we've done the changes in initialization, we've done the changes in added the changes in process transition. In the end process, we can add again kill activities for killing the application which we already used. Okay, or closing the application basically. Where we added inside the kill process. Just I will copy those two activities and either you can use close application activity. Okay, what is the difference close and kill? Kill will permanently close the application from task manager, and close will close the application for that particular user. So close, when you use close application, there is an activity. If you see that properly, close application. Can you see this? So this will close the application for that particular user. On a machine, there could be multiple user. Okay, if you are using close application, then it will close for that particular user. Kill also you can do per user as well, but this will permanently delete the or close stop the process from the task manager. So there is a difference. I believe so. We've done most required programming to execute this task. Okay, let me run the bot. Any question before triggering the bot? I'll save this, close this, and also close the application.
The get
Yes.
transaction.
Sorry.
One question I have, sir. The get transaction state, it will read all the data from queue at once. I mean,
No, it's one by one.
one by one it will read and it will get that in get transaction data, and in process data from get transaction it will fetch the data and it will process.
Correct. So it is going to generate a variable called a transaction item. As I already told, this one.
Yes, yes, sir.
It's a queue item.
Okay. Okay,
And the
fine.
track of that one is kept by the transaction number. So its number is 1, 2, 3, 4, like that.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. So let's run it. I will show the items uploaded to queue as well once this processes completely. Almost 10 records are going to upload on queue. Yeah, it started. See, login is getting started. So from where this data is getting come up, this data is coming from queue, not an Excel.
Queue. Mm.
So we have taken intermediate help of the queue. What is the importance queue here? Why we supposed to take queue here? So depends like how operation you want. Suppose if you have multi-bot architecture can be implemented in the sense your data is coming from different machines, okay? Different machines, but performer is a single. Means same perform means operation has to be single operation has to be done on all those data. So what we can do, we can have a different dispatchers which will run on different machines for different data. All those bots will upload the data on a single queue, completed, single queue item. And once the dispatcher is completed, we can run the performer. Assume dispatchers are there at 5 different regions, A, B, C, D. So all the 5 regions will upload the data to single queue item, which is queue based. Getting the context, guys? All the dispatcher will upload the data to single queue item from where the performer will run. Performer means processing part. So it will take the data one by one from that and run it. So there the queue comes in handy. So queue is the intermediary between dispatcher and performer. Dispatcher means uploading all the items to queue. Performer means processing all the items from the queue. So if you observe output, you can see the transaction wise you got transaction number as well. See, correct?
Yes, sir. So every transaction there is a new ID generated.
Correct. And that ID has been captured by the bot and displayed using log activity. So you can use some logic to add it to Excel as well. That is for the part of investigation and exploring. But my question to people, what do you feel? Like, what is your feeling like after seeing this use case? Do you get an idea like how to divide the entire automation into small part? So where you have to keep what? In initialization, we done something. In process state, we done something. This example is a medium or the small use case, but in a complex use case, of course, your thinking should be the same. Did
We
you
are
get an
getting
idea?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we are getting
Yes,
basics,
sir.
just like how does the every state is working and what to upload and what to uh, how to perform the like which all activities are required in which state. So we are getting on those lines. Once we have the hands-on experience, no sir, we'll get more knowledge in detail.
Correct, correct. So now what we'll do, we'll generate a system exception. Okay. What is asking. So here I'm going to show you like in a transaction queue item, what happened exactly. So click on this view transaction, see the queue items got uploaded and is successful as well. Status of that one. Understood, no? And if you open up any one of the items, so you can see the headers and the respective value to that. See, the cash in is this value, on a check is this value, not on a check is this value, like this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
And if somebody wants to add a validation point, guys, that we can do. What validation? I will show some sample examples here. Okay. In the process state, we can do all those validation because here we are processing one by one. I will show you one example quickly. One example. What I want to process, those atoms where the value of honest check is greater than let's say 50. I don't want to process which is less than 50. Let me take if the data is like that. First of all, we'll set some condition, business rule. 50. I think this almost. I want only to process the data which is less than. Almost big numbers are there. Okay. We will put condition over here or else. Okay. So business exception, how it will work, I'm going to explain. I would like to process all the transaction which the values are greater than 50 only. Just a minute. Okay, so let's add the condition and I also show you. I will close the application in between when the bot is working, right? Manually I will close, then how it will get retried, that also will observe. Understood now what I'm saying?
so
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to put a validation over here. How I'm going to put a validation? Just try to understand. In the beginning itself, I'm going to put a validation on the data. What validation I'm going to put? I'm going to put a C integer, okay, because that is supposed to be an integer value. To put a condition, what condition I'm going to put here, which is greater than 100. Let's say I want to process all the transaction which is greater than 100. If it is less than 100, no need to process. So no need to process means I want to throw in a business error. I want to throw what? Getting guys, what I'm saying guys. Greater than
Yes, sir.
100.
100, yes.
I want to process all. So nothing has been written in the then part. In the else means less than 100 means I want to throw a business error. Business exception. You have to define business exception always. It won't come by default. You have to define it.
So one question, sir. Here, sorry to
Yes,
interrupt.
please.
Since like we are doing the transaction in bulk, okay, and in between, like you put the condition, if the value is greater than 100, then it will proceed. What if like in between, let's say there are 100 records and on 10th of record is less than 100 value, so it since like we are doing it robotic, so every transaction is not there is no dependency involved, no sir, so it will proceed rest of all the transaction, and for
Yes,
whichever it is like value is less than 100, it will throw in as a business exception.
exactly. We done the same thing here. So yesterday, theoretically, we understood. Whenever there is a business exception, what's supposed to happen? I told yesterday,
It
while you're processing row by row, you found some data is missing. What you'll do, you'll skip that and go for the next.
go for next year.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So that provision is made here actually. That provision is made. I will show you quickly, just for to understand the context. I'll show you quickly. In the final block, you can go for the set transition status. This workflow. Okay. Quickly, you can understand what exactly happening here. So this is going to check the error. What kind of error is? See here, it is tracking system exception as well as business exception. Both are nothing, means it is a successful. Then it will go to this part, success. Getting this is a boolean variable. Two variables are there actually, guys. What the
Yes.
variables
Yes.
are? Try to understand. Business exception is nothing and system exception is nothing. Means successful. Again here, if it is false, again you are putting one more condition. Business exception is not nothing. Means something is there. In that case, you will go to business exception. If you observe in case of success and business exception, transaction number is getting incremented. You can see both are connected to single flow here. So transaction number is getting incremented by 1. Means, let's say current transaction is 5th one, 6th one got successful or a business error. Both either of one. Then what's supposed to happen? It's supposed to go to next one. What is happening here? Try to understand carefully. What happening? Transaction number getting incremented by 1 means going for next transaction. This provision is already made. No need to worry.
So is that
Understood?
means, sir? Is that means, sir, there are 100 transaction, and out of 100, let's say like 5 are less than 100, and we're processing the bots. The total transaction count would be 105, including that.
No, 100 only, na? 95 success, 5 failed.
5 failed. Okay. So it will throw
Business error,
business
business
sector.
exception.
Yes. Okay.
So,
Business section.
what is the logic behind that one is whenever there is success or the business error, then simply it has to go for next transaction. Get the next one. So that's why transaction number is getting incremented by 1 after success or after business error. So after success, we have to go for next. After business error, we have to skip it, means go for next. Getting in both the scenarios, we have to go for next. But in case of system exception, as I said, we have to retry it. So we are not skipping the record here. If you want to skip it, then what to do here? If you want to skip it directly, simply I have to connect this block, this one, to this.
Yes, sir.
So simply it will skip because why I'm saying it is skipping? See the number. And system exception, this number is not getting incremented. This number is not getting incremented. Try to understand the difference. In system exception, this number is not getting incremented directly. After max retry, 1, 2, 3, whatever number of retry has been done, then it is going to increment.
Okay.
You know the context? Let's say for 6 transition, we got the system exception. As I said, application is supposed to close and retry the same transaction. 6th one only, not from 1. Correct, na? So transaction number should be the same again. It should not get incremented or should not get to 0. So that's why increment won't happen in case of system exception. So, but it will happen only after reaching the max retry. How many times retry has been done? 1, 2, 3, depends on the number what we given. So after max retry done, then this number is getting incremented by 1. So the transition number becomes 7. That is a fresh transition. So basic difference between success, business exception and system exception is these two are similar. Success and business exception. Go for next transaction. System exception will go for next transaction after retry. Got the difference? These two will
Yes.
go for next transaction directly because retry is not required. System exception will go to retry first, then it will go for incrementing the transition number. It will not skip directly. It will retry first and then go for next one. So this is the beauty of set transition status. No need to worry. Already this is captured, I did in the code. So we have added one business rule here. Probably we'll get business exception for 1, 2, 3, 4, right? For 4, we'll get business exception. And also what I'll do for the second transaction, I will close the application manually, right? To understand system exception, whether it will retry or not. I will show you quickly. You have to observe carefully and also sync with my words, what I'm saying. Then only you can realize when system exception happened, when business exception happened. So again, freshly, all the queue items are getting added. Then it is going to log in now to the application. Yes. So now the bot will enter only the value which is greater than T. 100, sorry, 100. 180 has entered. It's keeping the records at the background, guys. See, not on a stick. Not on a stick, you have to observe. 104. So it has skipped all the values. I'm going to close application now manually. Okay, I close the application. What will happen now? What do you think?
It will try, so
Yes,
Retry.
it will reopen the application, log in again, and start from the same transition where it is left. Let's see. Taking time. Ideally, it should do quickly. Don't know why. Yes, done. See, one retry has been done. Huh? I will close the application again. We want to see how many times it is going to retry.
Is it because taking times a 30-second time, or then it's
Exactly.
opening?
There is a timeout. It is taking 30 seconds of time.
Okay.
We can reduce it. So it is done, I think, right?
Yes.
So let's do the task and we'll see the logs. Okay, we'll see what are the logs we got and so you can see error we got. So basically for few transition, as I said, 4 transitions having less than 100 na. So there will be 4 red colors. So that's it. And after that, the retry has been done. And that retry you can see in the queue items, not here. Mohammed, can you operate it? Hello. Hello. System issue. Am I audible, guys?
Yes, sir.
Mohammed, can you operate it? I'm not getting the control. Maybe his system having issue. Yeah, I think he got disconnected. Okay. So meanwhile, he joined again back. So any question, guys? I suggest all of you follow the steps what we done for this. Okay. And try to implement it. Of course, you may come across some challenges or some people may get the solutions quickly as well. So at least you have to do it hands-on once because This is itself is advanced topic. So we have to practice it more to get depthness of this one. We'll invest one more session on this in the next week for another use case rather than Q item. Okay. That is what the plan. Whether he's going to join back. Okay, he said my broadband is down. I joined back.
Sorry, sir, my broadband was down, sir.
No worries, no worries.
Okay.
Can you share it just to
Yes, 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 yes,
we'll see the queues status so that
yes,
people will understand that, and we'll close the session for today.
yes. Is it visible, sir?
Okay, you can only not yet. Yeah, it's visible to us. So go to orchestrator queue so that we'll see the status of individual items, what exactly happen, there itself. Click on this refresh right hand side. Refresh, yeah. Okay. You may see there is some application. Can you see? Exception, guys. Last column.
Yes, sir, retried.
Yes, yes.
Now you can relate it now for which transaction we done the retry. Manually we closed it now. So basically this is maintaining the status as well. What exactly happened with that? After retry, it is got successful later on, but it got retried. And you can see at the end, we can see business error for
Yes.
4 records. I will say one more record is there, maybe in the next page. So business error is there. What are those? We can understand easily. So here is one more business error. Okay. So this is what the benefit of Q, wherein we can see the status, we can see the details of the error as well. If you open up this business, Mohammed, just open it. Open it with 3 dot. Click on 3 dot. View details. We'll see what exactly the reason behind failure as well. Can you read that exception? Data is less than 100. No, at the top, just above the table.
Yeah, reason data is less than 100.
So this is how the business will come to know. Need not to log into machine and see what will happen. Simply will come and see what are the failed and what is the reason behind that. So basically, what you will do, you will go to that transaction and make sure we'll take necessary manual actions on that, or probably it's kind of business error. So always, for any automation, business have their own validations. Those are called as BRs, business rules. Okay. And those rules we have to consider during the development wherever necessary. Okay. That's all, guys, for the day. I don't want to put more content on your mind or pressure on your mind. So based on yesterday's was the totally theoretical session we taken. Today's one is a kind of practical example we taken. Just as a small feeding to you people. What is my request is just try to follow the steps what we done for this. Okay, try to implement it by your own way by following the video. Once it is done, Apple, you can go for any other applications which you already implemented, maybe web automation or something which is iteration based. You can go with that RPA challenge. Do you remember we implemented one of the web automation RPA challenge where the locations were changing name, surname, phone number. That task you can implement using RE framework.
Yes, a currency converter also, sir.
Currency converter. Whenever there is a looping one, iterations one, all those we can implement using RE framework. I leave that part up to you how you want to explore yourself. Means there is too much to do, till next session. Next session again we are focusing on the RE framework with another example, which is not based on queue, other than queue items actually. So if the queue is not there, then how to customize RE framework, how to change the RE framework. What are the changes and all that we'll discuss in the next session. Before that, I would like to like recommend you to implement RE framework for another example rather than this. So first implement this, get the confidence, and go for the another example. You can pick up as per your choice, and let us know if you face any challenge in that case. Okay,
Okay, sir.
fine then. Any questions, guys? Anybody?